Welcome back, guys. Today I am showing you workflow number 4. This is actually going to be showing our production resources tab, and this is something I'm very excited to talk about because it's going to be very powerful for your shop if you're a screen printing shop, even sign shop. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for your production resources, it's under the production tab. Click it and go to production resources. So here you see we have several tabs, and it could be overwhelming at first, but you just go tab by tab and you'll get it down. So all these right here won't be showing whenever you get yours. These are all the screens that we currently have, and we are currently right now going through all of the screens and getting all the right attention per screen. So basically what we did is you click this little print label button, and when it comes up you get a label and it shows your number, your mesh count, and a QR code. So whenever you go to that QR code, it'll bring up whatever screen this is, and it'll have all your information. When was the last time you know it was the last time it was added, the last tension check, how many times it was used, and how many times it's been recoded. It'll show you the last time, what the tension was, and if you need to mark maintenance or mark broken or retire the screen, you can do it that way. I do the same thing. You can print a label. You can scan QR code. Right now I ain't gonna show my camera just because I'm using it for this, but you can add all these pretty easily. You can add screen, go through, select your frame size. If you got something custom, you could do it that way. Your mesh count, date you're going to add it, and etc. So basically this is really powerful because whenever you're in the production tab and you got a screen printing job going on like this one here, you go to production and you come down here. Not only can you track your ink, you can also keep track of the screens you use based off of the job. So you could scan it. Whenever you scan it with your phone, you could scan the screen tag, or you could just pick it from a list. And basically whenever you do all this, put your screens in, you can put your colors in. So we're going to go ahead and assign ink for all of these, and you can put in here what your screen order is. Basically, whenever you're printing a job, if you do your LPI, stuff like that, how many rounds, you can keep track of all your rounds. And basically, after you set all this up, you can make a summary where you put this in your notes, and it automatically does it based off of the job. So whenever your customer tab has a notes section, and this summary will go in there and it'll tell you what the job number was and how exactly you printed it whenever you set it up. Super powerful whenever you do reorders and reprints, so you can make sure that you are using the exact same thing that you did before, and etc. So back to the production resources tab, we got screen inks. It's the same process of what you can do. You can make a QR sheet. I wouldn't recommend putting QR codes actually on like your inks unless if you're actually really, anal about keeping your buckets and stuff clean. I know a lot of screen printing shops, they can get a little wild. You have two options though. You can print individual labels. They look like this. It'll have the color. It'll have this, etc. Or you can you do a QR sheet, and basically it'll do your whole sheet of everything that you have here of all your colors. I have a vinyl printer, so I just printed this out and I put it on a wall. And whenever I want, I can take my phone, scan it. It can bring up the ink information. Whenever you bring up the ink information, it'll have all this information here, such as like if you know your reorder URL, you can put that in here. If it has a UPC barcode, you can put that in here. Your supplier, the brand, the SKU number. Whenever you have your phone, you could actually use the color sample from like your camera. So you would click that, and you basically tap on the ink, like the color of it, like from your camera, and it'll automatically change this color to what that is or close to it. I recommend hitting about 3 or 4 times if like you got some weird lighting going on. That way you can make sure it gets pretty close. But you can also put how many grams you started with whenever you got the full container, and your cost per container, and the last paid cost and the previous paid, and the last paid date, and you can keep track of all that. Then whenever like you're going through your job, like what I just showed you in production, your ink tracking, you can do that. You know, you put your color in here or whatever, and you can put your start weight, then your end date or your end weight, and from there it will estimate how much your ink costed you on that job. Super powerful. We'll just say, the starter weight was that it was 440. So estimated 62 grams of ink that you use. It costed roughly about 76 cents. But if you use 4,000 or you use 500 some grams, it's costing you right around $6.13. So on and so forth. But the production resources has more than just screen printing stuff. You got your printer inks for like your vinyl printers. You could put them in here, like cyan, magenta, the brand, your cartridge size, the cost, and you can keep track of all that stuff. Your chemicals, you could put your chemicals in here for anything, honestly. I mean, your alcohol, if you're using stuff for like vehicle wraps, stuff like that. Your shop supplies, we use this for like our gloves, our trash bags. You can use it for like your tapes and your spray adhesive and all that stuff. You could do basically that. We do have it here where you can scan. So if you want to scan with your phone, I made this app where it's super convenient on a phone and an iPad, because that's one thing none of these softwares are getting right. Like they're focusing everything on desktop and not anything on a phone. And whenever you're on the phone, it's a pain to do anything, because you're either scrolling, you're tilting your phone, and it's a pain. So every time we implement something, we're also implementing it where it's easier on the phone. The only thing that we're not really implementing on the phone is like the t-shirt designer or mock-up thing, because you're always going to be basically on the computer anyways. So we're not super worried about that page unless if we get a bunch of people wanting it. Next on the list is embroidery. You can put in here your supplies for it. Your graphic materials, you could do the same thing. These you could print off a label as well. You could put them on your roll or piece of tape or however you want to do it. You could edit your actions in here. See this stuff where you can click it. And this right here, roll will cost me $560. I don't like that number. There, that's better. Then this right here would be your cost per square footage. All right, and your sign materials, of course, they would be the same thing. You could print off a QR code for this as well. You can put them on your metal, so you have good stock and stuff. And whenever you get low on certain things, you could come to the reorder list, and it'll show you on a list of, hey, maybe we should order this stuff the next time that we place an order with our supplier. And your annual report, it'll show you basically of the year that you're in, how many times you use certain screens, the kind of inks, how many times you did a weigh-in, your printer inks, how much printer inks you went through. Now, mind you, this is going to be accurate based off of how much effort you put into this. We built it to be powerful for shops and give them an option, to really keep track of everything, because the more you keep track of stuff in your business, the better off you're going to be whenever it comes to profitability. That's basically it for the production resources tab. This is going to be the last video I do until next weekend. But the production resources, if you have time to sit in here and actually go through this, it's super powerful for your shop. Ever since we started using it, I love it because I can keep track of our tensions. There's a screen that's weird, like we don't have to worry about writing it with a Sharpie. We print them off on vinyl stickers that is like a high tack. You put it right on the aluminum, keep them there. You scan them, brings it right up. You can adjust whatever you need. And if there's a screen that busts, you can keep track of it. You can also keep track of if what screens you have coded. You can do it that way as well. But yeah, check it out. Super cool. The next video we're going to do is going to be about production, like our production boards and all that stuff. I'm going to work on a different test account to kind of show you a better workflow so it doesn't mess up my current one that I have going on right now. So watch for that. It's going to come next weekend, and I'm hoping to drop about 3 or 4 more videos next week and really go from there. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one.